Good morning and welcome back to Fresh. I'm Julie DeLorenzo, your host for this segment, and we're going to talk about comfort foods, about things that you can make and have them just simmer all day while you maybe just relax around the house or have some errands or things that you need to tend to while it's cooking. And then it smells great when you come home and you're ready for a great meal. Some of those recipes can be found right here in the Elkhart County Living Magazine. And there's a couple of ways that you can pick up that magazine and check it out. You can go to local Martin's or Kroger's grocery stores and pick one up there. You can also go to www.maplecitymedia.com and check it out there online. Or you can call 533-2151 and just ask for the subscription department and get yourself set up for receiving it at home that way. So make sure you pick one up. There's a lot of, like I said, good recipes. There's new businesses featured in here, places to go, new events happening in the area. There's a bi-monthly calendar in here. It's really, really worth the minuscule amount of money it costs to have this magazine coming to your house. So make sure you pick one up. And we're going to talk today with Rachel Shanks. She's here at Rachel's Breads, and we're going to talk about one of the comfort things to do, and that's make some good soup.
Yes, we often make a lot of soups here in the winter, and it's our popular item on our menu.
Well, for me, as soon as the weather starts to get a little chilly or cold or the leaves start to turn, I'm pulling out the crock pot or the big pots and just having things simmer all day. So I'm really excited about what we're making today.
Today, we're making a Caribbean butternut squash soup, and it's a very easy soup to make. You just chop a few vegetables, you have your squash in the oven, pull it out, and then while you're doing the squash for the soup, you can also bake a lot more so that you have some in your freezer or in your fridge to make some other things with.
Well, the first step it sounds like you would need to do is to bake your squash, because that's probably going to take a little bit longer than while you're prepping all your vegetables.
Right, and that's exactly what I've done today. The squash is ready to go, and I have all my things here already chopped. I do have them here so you can see what I put in.
Yeah, what did we put in?
In this soup there is some garlic, 3 cloves of garlic. There is 1 chopped onion. And there's 3 stalks of celery, and that's what I have in here. And then I need to add the squash. I'll start this frying a little bit.
All right.
While we scoop out the squash.
I wish people could smell what we smell. It smells so good in here today, and I may have to stick around or come back and sample this soup later.
That would be a good idea. But that is the thing that we really like about making soups and baking, is that smell kind of stays with you all day. You have the doors closed because it's cold outside, and it's just a lot of fun.
Well, this looks absolutely beautiful. You have, what, 3 squashes here that you've cut in half. How long does it take to have these bake, and how did you prep them for baking?
These I cut in half, and then you take out the seeds. If you want to, you can actually keep the seeds and wash them and then toast them while this is baking, and then you have some pumpkin seeds to throw in on a salad or even to decorate the top of the soup. So,
there you go. And how long did you bake those, and at what temperature?
These have been baking at 375 at about, I'd say for about an hour or so. So I'm just going to scoop this out and put it in here.
It looks very hot. Be careful.
It is very hot. Let me stir this over here now.
Got a lot going on. And so what are some of the, you have some seasonings here. Is this cinnamon here, and you've got some honey and some...
Again, all you have to do after you've done this sautéing of the vegetables is just add these spices, throw in the squash, and a little bit of wine and tomato, and then it's just done. And basically it just has to cook for a little bit, and if you want, you can actually make a big batch ahead of time so that you might have it for several meals. And this is also really good soup actually for Thanksgiving meal or something like that. And when you were talking about the Elkhart County Living Magazine, in the previous issue I actually have the recipe, I think, for this specific soup.
Oh, so maybe they can even go online or look in their old magazines they have at home and find this recipe. Yeah, and one of the things I wanted to make sure while you're digging out the inside of the squash is, we were talking earlier about a lot of things you can do with squash. You were talking about how you use it for breads, you use it for cookies.
Yes. This specific squash, the butternut squash, is a really versatile squash, and here we actually make a soup with it. I also have some pumpkin that's baking right now.
Okay. Take a look at that. Oh, wow.
This is a Long Island cheese pumpkin is what it's called.
Okay. So you're going to use all 6 of these squashes in your soup?
No, actually I'll use about 2 or 3 of them.
Oh, okay, okay.
Of these halves. Actually.
All right.
And then the rest, we have recipes that we use. We make a cheesecake with this. We have a really good pumpkin recipe for cookies. We also have a recipe for a salad where you might not cook it quite as long, but you chop up the squash and then you can put it in the salad.
Now, you said you also do a bread with squash? That sounds most appetizing to me, other than the soup. I can't picture cookies in a squash, but hey.
Cookies are really good. A lot of the thing about squash is that the spices that you end up putting with it. But we do make a bread. We make a bread that has the pumpkin spices that people would traditionally use, and then we have a sourdough bread that we make and a quick
Need a little bit more?
Yes.
So really this looks like it doesn't take very long to actually just throw it together, but then you can just leave it simmer on low for most of the day and just wait till the family comes home.
Right. And something that I have found really useful with some of these winter recipes where you're doing a lot of vegetables or you're using squash cooked like this is a handheld blender. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but with this soup that's something that we use. Okay. And that's you can get that at the hardware store. It's just like a stick with a little blender on the bottom, and all you have to do is just put it right in the soup when it's done cooking
and mix it all up.
So.
Well, we're going to finish up putting everything in the pot, and while you're doing that, something else we talked earlier about, a great source of fiber and good recipes for soups is beans, and of course that's also featured in the current Elkhart County Living Magazine is several recipes on making some bean soups.
Right. Beans are also a good food for this time of year because you can soak them overnight just in water on your kitchen counter. Right. And then the next day you can cook them, and it takes about an hour and a half. It kind of depends on the bean, actually. Okay. And then when you do that, you can use the beans for all kinds of things. You can use them for soup. You can use them to make a casserole with, all kinds of things. Right, so that's what I have in the magazine, the current magazine, are some ideas for that. And also, at this time of year, some things that are really good to cook with are high fiber foods such as oatmeal. You're doing apple crisps with oatmeal. You might do baked oatmeal.
I loved baked oatmeal. It's one of my favorite morning breakfasts.
It is here too. We serve it here on Saturday, and people really like it.
Boy, I can really smell that honey going in there. Well, do we have some time to finish watching her put that all together? And it's, come by Rachel's Bread. You're here in Goshen, and are you open every day for lunch, or?
We are open Wednesday through Friday for lunch in the winter, and then Wednesday night and Friday night for supper also.
Oh, well, man, I bet you got some good recipes going on here for that. So make sure you come by Rachel's Breads for lunch. Check out her soups. Talk to her. Tell her you saw her making this recipe on our show, and maybe she can let you in on some good hidden secrets. So we'll be back in a moment after this short break.